Right everyone, welcome back to another TA episode on Solana. If you're new to the channel, warm welcome. In this video, we're going to talk about how Solana is performing against both the USD pair, and we're going to be wrapping things up with the Sol BTC pair. Let's jump right into today's video. So, in the last video for Solana, we were sitting at around about $39.52. We were predicting a 51% drop all the way down to $19, which is one of my price targets for the potential bear market lows for Solana. Since that video, we've moved down approximately 11%, so that is all good and done. But nonetheless, it does not look like this is the time to be bullish because we've moved down 10% and now's the time to buy the dip, right? That's not what I've been saying on my channel at all. If you've been watching my channel for the past month, I've been telling you that buying the dip in these bear markets does not work. You should wait for a trend reversal. For example, within the past month alone, when I've been bearish on these cryptos, Solana's moved down 40% against the US dollar, so buying the dip has clearly not worked. It's much better to wait for a trend reversal, in my opinion. So looking at Solana, we're breaking below two very, very important levels. If I zoom out, you can see, number one, the 1.618 sitting at $36.83. This was by far the most important level that Solana really had left that it needed to hold. We have broken below this. The second most important level was this low down here at $35.32, and it is capitulating below that at this moment in time. Now, this can get a lot worse. I don't really want to make this about Bitcoin or anything, but Bitcoin is sitting at its last line in the sand. If you see Bitcoin break down, Solana is going to get absolutely wrecked. And I'm going to leave this to the end of the video because I want to talk about Sol BTC, the Bitcoin dominance, and how this will affect Solana. Let's talk about what the price targets are for Sol USD. But before we get to the price targets, we need to look at the market structure. At this moment in time, bearish volume is pretty much all we've got in this market. We've got tons and tons of bearish volume recently. If we look at the squeeze bomb on the daily time frame, bears are in full control of this trend. If we look at the Heikin-Ashi candles, we really haven't had many two green days in the sun. I mean, since we came up and topped out round about here, we've been going down for 69 days, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 days in the green over on the Heikin-Ashi candle specifically. Now, bear in mind, if you switch over to the Japanese, it might be slightly different. I'm looking at the Heikin-Ashis because I'm more interested in the trend structure. Looking at the Heikin-Ashis is a great way to define whether we're in a bullish uptrend or a downtrend, because with the Heikin-Ashis, it's a little bit more complex than this, but making it super simple, they open approximately around halfway through the previous body. So how does this help with defining a trend? Well, it simply means that you would need a lot more momentum to push the trend up once it's in a downtrend, and it would take a lot more momentum to push the trend down once you're in an uptrend. So because of this, you see a lot less fake outs, which is why I love doing analysis over on the Heikin-Ashi candles. And we're capitulating below everything. Weekly time frame, we've been in the red for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks. I imagine if we come over to the Japanese, it's probably been 10 weeks on the Japanese. So really not looking good. If we go back so we can get some of our data back, let's see what we've got going on. I really don't think there are too many last lines in the sand before we have these macro capitulations. Now, 4-hourly time frame, squeeze mom, which is our momentum indicator, is heavily pushing over to the light red. This means bears are getting in control of the trend. They are getting ready for their next trend reversal, or not trend reversal, sorry. They're getting ready for their next trend shift back over into the bearish side of things. For example, if we look at the daily, you can see, bearish trend, bears take a breather, bearish trend, bears take a breather, bearish trend, breather, and now we're heading over to the next bearish trend, in my opinion. It's really flat right now because we are still sitting at the last line in the sand. The momentum indicator is going to move down exponentially once we start taking out the lows. This is how these momentum indicators work. They move a lot when they come down, get rejected from Fibonacci's, EMA ribbons, all that good stuff. And I would draw a fib. I much prefer fibs, but the fact of the matter is, we're not near any of the fibs on this trend. We came up, came down, got rejected from the 0.5 Fibonacci, broke down, got rejected from the 0.6. So, I mean, look at this. Textbook 0.5 rejection right here. Breakdown, came up, textbook 618 rejection. broke down, broke back up, textbook 786 rejection. Now, in my opinion, the only thing to do is take out the floor. So, Solana, I'm still sticking with my guns. I do think $20, $19.26 is on the table. I was predicting this 51% drop. We've moved down about 10 or 11% so far, so approximately about another 45% to go. Now, I do want people to be very, very cautious with this, because I made the prediction of Solana coming down to $19.36 well before they started having even more network issues. Now, from what I've been told, they have fixed the issue with the network outages, but I've been in Solana for a while, and I've heard that statement far too many times that they've fixed the network issues. I've held Solana for a very, very long time, and the amount of times the network's gone out and they said, we've removed this feature so it shouldn't happen again, or we've figured out the problem and we're going to do this, we're going to run a mainnet upgrade and then this won't happen again, and then next week it gets DDoSed, or lots of people mint NFTs and the network just goes to garbage. So Solana has been super, super sucky to use recently, and bear in mind, if this is your first time on my channel and you're hearing me say, these negative things about Solana, I'm not a Solana hater. In fact, if you click on my YouTube profile, my profile pic is a Solana NFT. This is a Solana NFT. These over here, these little raccoons, these are Solana NFTs. This Solana 3D coin is obviously Solana. This token above it, this is called the Bounty token. This is an SLP token that runs on Solana. I'm a big Solana fan. I do think it's going to do well in the future. However, I have to be able to give criticism, and people should be able to criticize their own network. So, for example, if your take on this is that anyone who ever says anything negative about your network is fudding or hating, then that's just a really stupid and childish opinion. I do like the Solana network, but I'm not gonna, dick ride them and moonboy them all the time. They need to sort out their network. Right now, their network is garbage, and I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. I don't like sugarcoating things on this channel. I say it how it is. That's why they call me Cowboy. I'm a straight shooter. The network is garbage. It's unusable. Solana is not going to have Web3 built on it if they do not fix these problems. So that is my take on things. Solana USD, this is my minimum target, $19. Bear in mind, I've been saying this is going to be dropping like a rock since $72. If you go back to my videos on the 9th of May, tons of people were still bullish back then, saying Solana summer's coming, $1,000. Since I started flipping bearish on Solana, it is down 51%. So like I said, people should be able to give criticism on networks that they are a part of. It's necessary. Like, you can't just accept the Solana network as it is right now. Things need to change for the network to be usable in the future. And right now, the network is just, it's really, really abysmal. So just my thoughts. Technicals alone, not talking about the fundamentals, are not looking good. We're breaking below the lows. The squeeze bomb heavily heading to the downside. There's an okay amount of volume coming in, nothing crazy. Like, I don't want to say there's tons of bearish volume coming in. It is actually really flat right now. I do think this is going to start exponentially increasing as we do capitulate. Bear in mind as well, Bitcoin is hanging on by a thread. If you see a big move below approximately 28,600, then all of the crypto markets could start to landslide. So this is where I think Solana USD is going down to $19. I want to talk about Sol BTC because I think it's very important. Just quickly before we do that, look at the weekly volume. This is scary. Like, look at this. This is an exponential increase in bearish volume, and volume predicts price. If we look at the last time we had exponential volume, you can see this was bullish volume. We had bullish volume accumulating crazy, and because of this, we were able to run up from $19 to $250. It's the same to the downside. If you've got exponential bearish volume just accumulating week over week over week, and it's getting worse and worse and worse every week, like this week alone, 610 million Solana was predominantly sold. Well, it's traded, but predominantly sold. Week before that, 780 million. Up here, 1.7 billion Solana sold. So I do think Solana is going to go down against the USD valuation, but much more importantly, the BTC valuation is capitulating below the 786. Now, first of all, you might be wondering where I've got this fib drawn to. Daily time frame, this is the candle body close, so I'm going to switch back over to the weekly time frame now, just so you know that this fib is accurate. I've just got it on the weekly. But as you can see, the last line in the sand was the 786. Since this breakdown, well, we actually predicted this up here, but we moved it from the last video. We were predicting a 25% drop. We're down 15% already. And I do think we've got about another 11.8% move to go to the downside. So Sol, BTC, really, really not looking good. Bear in mind, this is the first line in the sand. And if I do believe that Sol is going to drop against its Bitcoin pair, select the movement tool, 45%, then Sol BTC should move down at least 30 or 40%. We could even move down 52% down to the next 2.618. We've actually got support down here. If I mark this Fibonacci, make it green, this would be the next major level down. And in fact, I'm going to move this trade over because I don't think this 1.618 is going to hold up too well. I think it's much more likely we're going to head down to these lower levels, just like on the weekly on the USD pair as well. You can see the BTC pair has started to shift over into light red, meaning that we are very, very likely to start shifting to the downside as well. Solana is still holding up quite nicely in terms of all the cryptos. It is still sitting at rank number 9. I believe it's right underneath Dogecoin, and the last time I checked, you know, Dogecoin was coming up quite close. Wow, this is getting closer and closer every time I look at this. At this moment in time, the Solana market cap is around 12 billion. Dogecoin is at 9.5. So it's going to be pretty brutal for Solana if it gets flipped by Dogecoin. A meme coin ranking higher than Dogecoin, a meme coin ranking higher than Solana is not necessarily a good sign, at least in my opinion. But yeah, that is basically what I see for Sol BTC. I think we're going to come down another 44% against the USD pair, like I said, another 45%. But with all that being said, I really just want to emphasize that I've been talking about this for the past month now. The Bitcoin dominance is going on a massive, massive rally. So in of itself, when the Bitcoin dominance moves up, it simply means Bitcoin is outperforming altcoins. Pair that with the fact that the Bitcoin price is breaking down. When the Bitcoin price is breaking down, altcoins break down harder. When the Bitcoin dominance goes up, Bitcoin outperforms altcoins. So what do you think is going to happen when you pair these together? The Bitcoin price is breaking down while the dominance is heading up. This means that even if Bitcoin breaks down 10%, the altcoins are going to break down 20, 30, 40, 50% or so. So it can get a lot worse. I don't think, unfortunately, Solana summer is coming. I don't think it's going to happen this market cycle. Yes, I do think Solana is going to be a great performer in the next bull run, but you know, we have to accept that these markets are just not up 24/7. Like if we look at what happened in the previous market structures for Bitcoin, you know, you can't tell me that these markets aren't cyclical and we don't have boom and bust cycles. Look, I mean, we've got boom, bust, boom, bust, boom, bust. We do the same thing every time. As you can see here, zooming in, boom, bust, and well, I don't even want to count this this micro impulse, but yeah, breaking down. So I think it's very, very likely Bitcoin heads down to 23,000. That is my price target for Bitcoin. I'm not going to say why in this video and make this a Bitcoin TA video. You can go check out my Bitcoin TA videos if you want. But very, very conveniently, as of the time we were wrapping up this video, Bitcoin is breaking down from this major, major level of support. Be super, super careful if you're still trading altcoins. Been saying this for the past month, but they are going to get a lot cheaper, in my opinion. That's all I've got for you for Solana today. Hope you found some value in this video. As always, not financial advice. Cowboy out. Peace.